Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Matt and John Make a Podcast. This is episode 82. We would like to apologize to you guys. We unfortunately could not do a professional wrestling podcast this week due to someone having big boy job things.
Busy schedule.
Yeah,
busy schedule.
A very busy schedule. So, but we will be tentatively be doing a podcast next Friday at hour like normal
should
time.
be good.
So, but on tap for today's show, a lot of sports news are going on. First of which, Matt, is to the return of the NHL to ESPN. Yes, the NHL and ESPN announced, I believe it was on Wednesday or something, that they
seems about right.
Yeah, that they have signed a 7-year deal, and that they will be having games back on the like worldwide leader. And I can tell you, Matt, I am pumped for this.
Yes.
This I feel.
Yes, I agree.
I will say that like ESPN not causing NHL games has really hurt as far as the exposure of the game. I feel, and that is like not to like completely shit on NBC, but it's just clearly it isn't the same, you know.
Yeah. I think if you look, ESPN again, we better get Gary Thorne or Bill Clement or to announce some games. Steve Levy. Yes.
Levy.
There's your 3 teams right there. Announced teams.
And two, it should also be like noted. Gary Thorne.
Did I say Gary Thorne? Didn't I say?
Yeah. He is like no longer with the Baltimore Orioles, so he's a free man right now. Just
do it, ESPN.
Just
cowards.
And they also confirmed they are bringing back that epic theme music, which I freaking love. Just brings me back to me like watching them to me watching Yager and like Lemieux on there. And I mean, and as far as the actual details here, they signed, as I said, a 7-year deal. They will be hosting 4 of the 7 Stanley Cup Finals. We say 4 of the 7 because this is only a like half of the
which is big because since the lockout, it's just been NBC.
Yep.
Now, like the Super Bowl, there's going to be like a rotation, so to speak, and
which is good.
Which I assume is going to be every other year.
Yeah.
Which, if it's NBC or NBC Universal, whatever,
and supposedly too
Fox and CBS,
supposedly Fox.
That's good news. That's good news for NHL. Hopefully, it gets mainstream. I never really watched it when it was on back in the day because I really didn't watch hockey pre-lockout. But I've watched highlights throughout the years of Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, just of that, and he's up there with me with Doc. In terms of excitement level he brings on calls.
He brings a certain intensity that really cannot be matched.
Like when the Avalanche won their cup early, like excitement, Lemieux's final goal against the Flyers,
when
the final game, I guess,
when he says "Scar, Mario is back."
Oh, that one.
That was like
soundbite.
Still gives me chills every single time that I watch back at that thing.
But like you see behind us, on my big head, NBC, you get ESPN, ESPN Plus, and Hulu.
And something. Oh yeah. I don't mean to interrupt you, and I'm not sure if you give me to actually say this, but supposedly the NHL TV package that is all basically going right into ESPN Plus now.
Now, do you pay extra for it, or doesn't it include?
Nope, it includes with
so NHL TV. Oh, hot damn!
So basically, you are paying less, and you're getting every single
Oh,
out of market game.
I
like
see,
that's
I didn't read the full prep news on this before this because busy schedule. I literally had no time. Well, that's not true, but that was the last thing on my mind. But NHL TV you can watch. So basically, you can watch anything, any game.
As long as you have an ESPN
Disney Plus subscription bundle, even though it's gone up, gone up. I don't care if that's it.
Like that, I mean that right there is going to get a whole new audience there.
One would think. I think
that it will. And
I think so. To have every Stanley Cup final game in playoffs, because you figure, okay, now it's just not going to be. Well, I mean, before I make that point, like when NBC had the Stanley Cup final, you would have like game 1 on NBC, and then 2 and 3 on NBCSN.
Yeah, I don't see that happening here.
Right. Like, but then get game 4, and then the rest of them, like, it's a Stanley Cup. You don't have Fox on the World Series.
No.
Have game 1 on Fox, game 2 and 3 on FS1 or whatever. It's on the main flagship show or network. It's Fox. It's the World Series. It's the championship. You don't have the Super Bowl on CBS Sports Network or NBCSN. You put it on the main network where everybody, basic cable that everybody can get. I don't know basic cable packages. I don't think everybody can get FS1 or NBCSN. No. So you put it on an ESPN. Hell, maybe an ABC. Who knows? I doubt it.
No. I think at least like one of those are going to be on ABC.
I would put, because everybody kind of can get ESPN, right?
Yeah.
Maybe game 1 on ABC and ESPN. That's not like a step down.
I mean, like, yeah, it really isn't. I mean, ABC is just like absolute basic cable.
Yeah, but then everybody.
But then again,
see.
so is ESPN too.
Pretty, I think.
Yeah, but
ESPN. I don't know. I got to look at things, but yeah.
But I mean, it's only going to help the NHL just as far, and it should help hopefully promote your star players, your Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid,
Austin Matthews, Ovechkin.
Austin Matthews. They need to be plastered on all of these platforms because that has been the main thing that I've been really critical about the NHL. It's just they promote their game horribly, and like, and
the good PR was the Winter Classic,
right? And that was the only time that they would ever get any coverage over on ESPN, but their whole argument was, well, they aren't on our platforms, so we're not gonna devote any coverage to it. But now,
see, that's
and yeah, it's freaking dumb. But now, since
they have no excuse,
and especially too, they are like paying the NHL $3 billion for or about. Yeah. About $3 billion.
The NBA playoffs happened at the same time, right?
Yeah, however, they aren't on. They aren't.
They're on ABC, right?
On the same nights, yeah, ABC.
But let's say, well, they can negotiate. But hypothetically, let's say there is a game on the same night, which
it never is.
Is it not?
No.
Okay.
It never is. Yeah,
well, okay, well, never mind. But I was like, they have ABC and NHL and ESPN. Well, whatever. But it'd be nice to going into the players. Let's say you have Eastern and Western Conference, or just I don't know. Did they say they're going to play if they're hosting a Stanley Cup final, have exclusive rights to playoffs, or like in the opening round or two? Yeah, like some games can be like on NBC and some games on ESPN.
Yeah, like it'll probably be
split to a certain point. I want to be split into conference finals, though.
Yeah.
But then technically ESPN could technically do both because they're not on the same night.
Yeah,
usually,
and to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure.
Or they could do the same. They could do. I don't know how that works.
I'm not exactly sure how exclusive that this is, and compared to whether NBC or like Fox come in here. I'm not exactly
Fox
sure.
Fox or CBS would be a big player.
Yeah, I mean, like Fox, to me, I would be interested with them
because they used to be on Fox.
Yeah, they used to be on Fox, but at the same time, they don't have hardly any hockey coverage over there. On top of that, I would probably just stick with NBC, to be perfectly honest. But
if the price is right,
but if they get a better deal, and especially now in the current economics of the NHL, you have to go for the absolute best deal.
With Fox, you could have coverage. You could have a hockey show on FS1.
Yep.
That's easy to put on. I'm trying to think of any other of CB. I'm just going down the line. CBS. You have obviously CBS Sports Network.
Paramount, right?
Paramount Plus. You got that.
Yeah.
Technically, you got TNT. I mean, TNT's on this under right. It's TNT is under the same umbrella, right?
No, they are. They are.
I'm thinking of March Madness, though.
Actually, no.
I think they are in the same umbrella.
Yeah, because also under like Showtime.
TBS
too. Yep, Showtime.
Yeah, because they're under the same umbrella. I believe, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So you have flexibility of channels there, more content. But if you keep it on NBC, you're losing NBCSN, but you still have USA Network for games.
Peacock too.
And Peacock streaming. Yeah, streaming is a big thing. And then NHL.
And which is why I feel that the deal with ESPN was so important, because to me ESPN Plus is just so much more like valuable than anything else right now, because if you look on there, UFC has really helped them, and to me this is only going to really bolster that right there, because now you're adding so much content.
You got
over there right now.
30 for 30s.
30 for 30s.
All those documentaries, original shows.
Yep.
And you get so many people. I don't know. I'm curious. I got to look up I'm curious what the numbers are if they release those. How many people have the Disney Plus bundle?
Yeah.
You would think it's a decent portion.
Yeah. Well,
and then you have access to all of that.
And they were also saying too, or ESPN CEO was saying one of the like main reasons why they were attracted to the NHL is like they have a very young fan base, and that's something as you know, 18 to 49. We talk about this all the time when we're talking.
But still, it's true.
But the wrestling ratings, but it's like that.
That's TV business.
That is the TV freaking business right now, and to me,
I would love like one of those like 30 for 30s on like something in like a hockey documentary, like properly made. Gretzky.
Mario,
Mario,
Sidney Crosby,
Yager, name just other
Ovechkin.
Hell, go old school, go Bobby Orr, go the creation of the NHL, like stuff like that.
Which they will.
The lockout.
That
story.
That I mean, like. And two,
so much stuff that you can get into.
Else, I want to see them to sign actual hockey insiders, like because too, I don't know, ESPN doesn't have any.
They got Melrose.
Yeah, and
Bucci Gross.
Yeah,
is that how you say that?
John Bucci Gross.
Yeah, Bucci Gross. Yeah, he loves hockey.
Yeah,
he there's your
Linda Cohn.
Yeah, there's your studio host. Get some good analysts. I mean, there's nice former players out there.
As far as TV host goes, I think this is someone who they should think about hiring is Renee Young.
She's Canadian.
A huge hockey fan. Yeah, and two, has already stated on Twitter too she would be really interested in possibly doing that. I mean. Hell, I mean, it would be a really good fit for someone who like knows her hockey, not to mention has a plethora of
Hell,
experience in like hosting shows.
she can be a if not a studio host during like a playoffs, could be a an interviewer in between.
Absolutely.
In between, yeah,
Like
like a locker room interviewer and stuff. Like it's great. There's so much potential here.
Right.
It's good for the NHL. I'm glad. As much as I love, I don't mind the NBC stuff, but it just seems
hell, just with the freaking ESPN Plus package here, you're getting all of these games, and you're only paying $5.99
or
and
14 with the bundle
or
or whatever.
14
but
with
still,
the freaking bundle.
But
like,
the think about and not to pivot until a different topic with it, but like look what you're getting with that bundle, the Disney Plus. Just look at every freaking thing you can get for every age.
Right.
You have your Disney Pixar movies for the young kids and original shows there. You have if you like Hulu, you have the Nat Geo stuff on Disney Plus too for that. You have the Marvel, Star Wars. We're getting the new Falcon and Winter Soldier stuff next week.
Right.
We just came off WandaVision. That alone, you got that. You got Hulu, access to, there's live TV, current TV shows, other movies, original shows, and you got ESPN Plus before the NHL stuff. UFC content, UFC pay-per-views, talk about content, the 30 for 30s, the E60s, the watching other sports, basketball if it's on, football, everything.
Think about this. I mean,
it's a still for $13.99, which I think is the new price.
And to me, this is just another example why ESPN will always be the consistent worldwide.
They got the
leader.
Disney money.
It just like
Disney money.
Like with the NFL, like they don't have the exclusive rights, but they obviously own the.
It's a big chunk.
It's a big chunk with the like Monday Night football deals there. So like they have a hand in every single pie, essentially here. I mean, like baseball, they still do Sunday Night Baseball. They're obviously exclusive between
wild card game.
Yeah, and like with the NBA between themselves and like TNT are their partners there. So it's just a really fun time, and like to me,
yeah. Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'm just excited just to see hockey on ESPN. I cannot wait to see Sidney Crosby versus Alexander Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby versus Austin Matthews on either ABC or ESPN.
To reading the article at New York Post about this deal, I think stuff. I just, in case we missed it, I guess it has. Again, about the playoffs, I guess it would have his choice of conference finals if it's split between stuff. Basically half the playoffs. It says during the regular season there will be 75 exclusive games on ESPN Plus and Hulu. So there you go.
Right.
We can watch, because normally if it's not on NHL Network or NBCSN on a Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, Thursday night, you don't have NHL TV, then you're screwed. I guess that was it. I just talked about random stuff. So if I see anything, and it really didn't help that article, but yeah, so this is good for NHL to come out from fourth place, hopefully close the gap between
honestly
third and fourth place.
Honestly, I think they're going to end up in like third here.
Past the NBA?
No, I'm like baseball.
You have baseball third
or
fourth.
Fourth, yeah, I do. Like I feel like that the overall interest in baseball right now is just so low right now, and this whole pandemic has really hurt them. And as far as like, just and more so too with the competitive balance that like baseball has, not to mention with the overall with the overall lack of overall interest, not to mention a very aging audience too, which is still a huge problem for them. But I mean, I feel like this is a good chance for the NHL to kind of move into third here, because to me, what killed the NHL was that horrible lockout, which canceled the whole entire season. It left that league in such a dire strait to where it was really hard for them to really get out. But like luckily, the new ESPN CEO, when he took over as CEO about 3 years ago, he said one of his goals was to bring hockey back on their platforms there. So needless to say, I'm really happy. And this will all be starting next year. So like
we don't have to wait.
In the fall, it's gonna be here before you know it. And if they will be complete idiots if they do not have Sidney Crosby plastered everywhere, because
Ovechkin, Matthews, McDavid,
like they need to push this freaking thing and take it seriously. That's all. Show that
highlights.
I ask. Show highlights. Have like shows dedicated to the NHL.
I think they said they're gonna have a studio show.
Yeah.
Like NFL has.
I'm also interested to see who they actually hire as far as like hockey analysts. Like, do they bring in a like Ryan Callahan or
They're probably still gonna have Melrose.
Yeah. I would also not be surprised too if like Pierre Maguire also comes over, because I think his deal with NBC is up after either this season or like next season.
That would be a good get, even though everybody's going to be annoyed. But
yeah,
still.
But to me, Gary Thorne, get Gary Thorne. If you get Gary Thorne or have Steve Levy calling
I'm convinced Steve Levy will. He might be if they get Gary Thorne is number one.
Yep.
He's calling your Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Levy, two. Bill Clement, because I know he used to do it, and I know his work at least from like the NHL video games.
Yeah.
You get him. There's your 3-man,
yep.
3 booth. Now who you get to commentate? I think that's the bigger question there.
Yeah.
As opposed to the analyst. Studio analyst, but because a good color commentator in any sport is a crucial thing. Look at Tony Romo. Everybody pretty much loves him. He's calling stuff. He knows obviously knows his stuff. If he predicts, he looks and tells you what's going to happen.
Lewis Riddick on ESPN as well. He's really good.
Yeah,
just like they just need to really nail those. And to me, having a Gary Thorne who's just going to really stand out, and just it's just going to be really awesome there.
Let's see who in the past was. Because I know Steve Levy.
Yeah, it was him and
Gary Thorne.
Him and Gary Thorne. They were the.
Let's go to recent ones here. We had Wikipedia already has 21 to 22 TBD. Yep. They had Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, John Davison, Steve Levy, Barry Melrose, Darren Pang. Darren Pang, he's doing, I know St. Louis, but I don't know if he's under contract still with NBC. Dave Strader, Brian Egblom, that's old. Joe Beninati, Neil Smith, Sean McDonald, Brian England, blah, blah. Eddie Ochek there, but for lockout.
I mean, like,
see, it's all different now because everybody has different contracts.
Yeah, but
Dave
now,
Strader's
like,
NBC.
but since like Steve Levy, he only basically does.
Well, Clement was called a commentary, like Thorne, Bill Clement. Okay, you have them both. There you go.
Yeah, like to me, like either go with Gary Thorne or like you can't go wrong with either guy.
Yeah, because 1 and 2 was Gary for the longest time was Gary Thorne and Steve Levy since 98, 99 through up into the lockout.
Right.
So yeah, Mike Goldberg.
Oh yeah,
he did do hockey.
Oh yeah, he was a huge hockey guy. Honestly,
he did it 94, 95, 95,
hell,
96.
I would mark out if they got
Steve
like
Levy was
Goldberg,
number 4.
He's still by far my favorite MMA play-by-play guy. So I mean, I would mark out if they got him. I mean, hell,
they had Mike Emmerich doing it with Bill Clement, 87, 88.
Right.
Well, but yeah. So wait, this was, I don't know who Tom Mees is.
I never
Is that old guy? But then they had Gary Thorne, Bill Clement. I forget. I don't know Tom Mees. Sean McDonough, Aim Blong. Wait, no, wrong one. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, Tom Mees, Derek Ping, Mike Goldberg, Brian Engblom, Steve Levy, Bobby Taylor. I don't know about Mees, but it's a hell of a lineup right there.
Yeah.
Back in 94, 95.
And two with like Goldberg, he isn't
Dave Strader
he isn't the like main guy on like Bellator, and to me they run like
few. Yeah. It's not UFC.
Right. So to me, I would definitely if I'm ESPN, I'm looking into that.
If you can share a contract or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like, shit.
We'll see.
Well, like because too, he is to like do when he was with the UFC. I think he did games for the San Jose Sharks. And yeah, like he did games for the San Jose Sharks at the time, and he was also working with the UFC.
Yeah,
so.
they had Chris Berman as a studio host from 02 to 04 apparently. Scotty Bowman was a studio analyst. John Bucci Gross, Bill Clement, studio analyst. Brian Engblom, Ray Ferraro, E.G. Hradek.
Yeah, I know him.
Is he? He's for NHL.com, right?
Yeah.
So he can be there.
Yeah.
Steve Levy, Barry Melrose, Tom Mees, Eddie Ochek, but he's in NBC.
He's on NBC.
Darren Pang. I know he does St. Louis Blues, but I don't know if he's NBC. Bill Patrick.
Yeah.
Bill. I want to say Bill Peduto, but it's not. John Sons. Okay. Reporters: Aaron Andrews.
Yeah, and she's with
Matt Lara.
She's with Fox. I'm pretty sure now.
So so they have they got people. We'll have to see in the upcoming weeks and months. Everybody's going to lose their freaking mind. We keep saying it if Gary Thorne is announced. If ESPN tweets out your play-by-play announcers and you can see Gary Thorne, people are going to lose it.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
Hell, I mean, like as I said, you cannot go wrong with either him or Steve.
I just want to hear
Levy and like Mike Goldberg. To me, those three, I will be very, very happy.
Just take that, NBC. Yeah. But just to hear Gary Thorne say, like, Crosby or Malkin Ovechkin or McDavid or Matt, like, with that excitement.
He's just going to bring so much excitement, and that's the one thing that NBC really doesn't have right now, especially when they lost.
With Doc, because all you have is
Tirico.
Mike, that's right. He does it.
And
Dave Schrader, I believe, and Kenny
Kevin Harlan too, right?
No, Kevin Harlan. No, it's Kenny. I don't even know his name. No, Kevin Harlan does CBS. I think he does football. I don't know. Yeah, you look that up. But as you look that up, I'm gonna buy some time. You can't tell that we like this still and like hockey, especially since we have our team here in Pittsburgh. But but hopefully
Kenny Albert.
Did I say Kenny before? Yeah, I said Kenny. Kenny Albert. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's probably their number one, but they've lost that.
Yeah. And
Number
one.
one.
And that is something that I feel like that ESPN can really take advantage of if they get Gary Thorne.
Get the announcers, because
Gary Thorne with like Steve Levy and or like Mike Goldberg. Hello, you guys are going to be. Every single game is going to be very, very damn exciting, even if it completely sucks.
CBS I think has the best combination.
Oh yeah,
for football.
Yeah.
Or at least announcers. What's his face that called the streaker at the Super Bowl? Oh, was it Kevin? No, it's Kevin Hart. I think it was Kevin. Whoever you know who I'm talking about. Like,
I think it was actually.
Yeah. Whatever. Whoever. But Iron Eagle and stuff. Like,
actually, I think
it wasn't Iron Eagle.
It wasn't.
It might have been. I think it might have been Harlan.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But like you have those three,
mm-hmm.
Jim Nantz and stuff. That's good. And on Fox you got Joe Buck, and to me it tails off. I don't think it's as solid.
No, I mean, like, to me, CBS is clearly better.
But the point I'm trying to make here is the announcing team is just as important as game day production
mm-hmm.
on your thing. It makes the viewing experience. If it was you and me, yes,
the presentation,
yes, better word.
Yeah.
But if it was you and me announcing a football game, we'd be fired before halftime.
Right, exactly.
So it makes all the difference. So that's a big thing. Can't wait to see what happens in NHL. Hopefully it grows and more people just don't poo-poo it away. I mean, like, hockey's not a sport.
Oh, God, like, that was annoying me. I'm like,
everybody at this point is a troll, but it always happens.
I'm like, guys, like, and being seriously, if that isn't a sport, then how in hell is, like, basketball and baseball a sport?
No, I'll go one back. And I love this sport and I play it. Then how is golf not a sport?
Yep, exactly.
And you're just standing there hitting a ball and it's boring to watch. It's still athletic.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to do. It's still hard.
Let me ask you this: why don't you guys try and skate as fast as like these guys do, and stick handle as fast as these guys
shoot a puck
and like,
hell,
like hit
hell
as they do, you know,
and hit and sometimes not fall down.
Yes.
Well, depending how hard the hit is. Hey, I went ice skating, and if I do a sudden movement and it is not keeping straight, move up, I'm gonna fall on my ass.
Exactly.
So. If I ever, after practicing, you get your balance and stuff, and it's like riding a bike. Yeah. But still, to me, that's like one of the most impressive things is the skate and the turn on the dime, stop on the dime.
It's very damn
and
hard.
Not fall on your ass,
right? And
not get hit with the puck constantly, and the eye-hand coordination and all that stuff. It's impressive, but hopefully it gets big. Like NBA, everybody goes on the Twitter. You see, like, casual friends of ours are just generally on our timeline. NBA playoffs, everybody's pretty much talking about it, and then the NHL is there. Hopefully, this gets more people.
I mean, as far as like my friends are concerned, like no one watches basketball. Like, especially here in
some people
in, like,
do.
Pittsburgh. Like, to me,
I think it's more casual.
Yeah, because
overall.
Yeah, because to me, hockey here in Pittsburgh, it's huge. Like outside of a football, like hockey is
number 2.
Is clearly number 2 here, and like basketball. Honestly, basketball is probably 4th. I mean, like, even as bad as the Pirates are, like baseball, people still really love baseball. It's just the team is just so freaking bad that anyone just gets.
And basketball's there, but it's really college, and it's Pitt, Duquesne, technically Robin Morris a little bit, but that's pretty much it. If you're not a Pitt fan, then
right. And to be perfectly honest, like, I'm just not interested in the NBA whatsoever. Like, I know it would change if Pittsburgh had a team. Yeah, and like for me as well, I would definitely be a lot more interested. I just don't have any
No,
sort of rooting interest.
I'll watch if it was like the finals or playoffs.
Even that, like I'm not even sure I would even do that there. Like,
I wouldn't just watch, but if nothing on it, let's say if I was over your house and doing something, we're just casually and the game's on and you turn it on, I'd be like, okay, yeah, watch it, I don't care. But I'm not going to go out of my way.
There would have to be like literally nothing else on, because to me, I am watching football, baseball, hockey.
Well, it's
UFC,
it's not football season.
But
I get your point.
Yeah,
I'm being
but
an ass.
but the point is it's just like I just don't have a vented interest. Whereas as in hockey, I'm way more emotionally invested since I have a team there.
Yeah.
But that will now pivot us to some NFL talk. Now, Matt, and we are on the cusp of free agency, which begins next week, which I think we're going to see a whole bunch of things that are going to be happening.
I can't spell.
Everything all
I was like, I couldn't spell agency, but that doesn't matter.
Okay. Are you going to change the slide there? Or
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. All right, so NFL talk, people. So we got a few things. We got a few things announced. So basically, the salary cap is going to be locked in at $182.5 million. Unfortunately, with those new TV contracts, they won't be really kicking in this year. But I'm definitely expecting for the 2022 season.
Year, yeah.
Like that thing is going to skyrocket. But and pretty much this whole entire week was just people were like teams franchising guys who they could keep, which wasn't too like many teams.
Yeah,
because
I don't remember any big news.
No, like there was a ton of teams who were just trying to get under the salary cap, and man, a team in like our team, we didn't have done any sort of like major cuts. Basically, the only like major thing that happened was us having Penn's contract
and Bud Dupree not getting franchised.
Yeah, and like Juju as well, which all of like which I completely expected, like and and I tell you, like the freaking Juju coverage, man, it's just annoying as hell right now. Like, have you seen this shit with Tone Diggs and on the Pat McAfee show and everything?
Not real. I've been
okay. Here,
yeah.
He wore a freaking beehive suit and a like mask. He was like, "Oh, I'm hiding from the."
Who's this?
Tony Diggs or Tone Diggs as like Pat McAfee calls him. So basically he was like because he's been really critical of like Juju, and basically his like legion of fans, like Juju fans, have been just completely just shitting on this guy pretty consistently. So he calls the like Juju fans the like Juju bees, which is kind of funny but kind of awkward and like weird at the same time. Juju bees. So he was on the show today where he wore a like beehive suit and a like mask and everything.
Yeah, I totally missed this.
Yeah, it's just like the whole coverage, man. It's just driving me insane. I just want this thing just to finally be over, just because we all expect Juju is going elsewhere. Hell,
yeah.
He even somewhat kind of hinted at that.
It's a negative, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, which again, not really surprised. We just don't have any salary cap space.
Because the Penguins, the Steelers. Agreed terms with Ray McLeod.
Yeah. They also signed today BJ Finney,
which shock to no one.
No.
So that at least helps with some depth on the offensive line there.
Right.
Yeah. Was there any other? There hasn't been really any other big news
Nothing huge
around the league yet.
No, but
When's free agency start?
On like Monday.
Oh, okay.
Monday, I'm
Just
pretty
to see how just out of the loop I am.
Yeah,
So that's gonna be a Twitter day.
Yeah, like pretty much you're just gonna be constantly refreshing that. Adam Schefter is going to be a very busy man.
Arthritis in the thumbs.
Between him and Ian
Rappaport. Yeah.
Of the NFL Network,
and everybody else, all the local reporters.
Right. I mean, like I'm pretty much for the Steelers, man. I'm not expecting too many guys to become.
I gotta sign it because I missed this. Like officially, didn't Dallas re-sign Prescott?
Yeah.
What was it, $40 million? Am I wrong?
Yeah, like he's the second highest paid quarterback.
Didn't
Mahomes.
Tom Brady just sign an extension?
Yeah,
4 years.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about the details off the top of my head.
I saw that. I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, like he resigned as of this morning or yesterday. It was one of them.
I think it was today.
Okay.
Yeah,
but as far as like Dak goes, man, I was not expecting this, to be honest. Like, I was even talking to a friend of mine who's a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, and he was like, man, I will be shocked if they come to a contract agreement here. And he was even being fully prepared, like, hell, like, this could be it.
Wait, this makes sense, because when the Bucs done this, Adam Schefter says it is a 4-year contract extension that voids to a 1-year extension.
Okay.
The deal ties Brady to Tampa through the 2022 season.
Yeah. So basically they aren't paying him really.
And the move saves Buccaneers $19 million against the salary cap this year.
Yeah.
The additional voidable years are there to defray the cost. So some contract manipulation, legal crap.
I want to say that's pretty similar with Penn's contract there, because they sort of pushed a lot of the cap to like future years there. So Dak, I mean, like, a lot of people really expected that they weren't going to get anything done, and that he was just going to be on the franchise tag, and I definitely feel like if they didn't get to a contract extension by that deadline there, like, he was probably going to be an unrestricted free agent going into the following season, because if they would have tagged him for a third time, Matt, they would have to pay him $54 million.
Yeah, that couldn't happen.
I'm like, yeah, hell no.
Yeah, because they used this thingy for Levante David, Buccaneers, that is.
Yeah.
Says this is from ESPN. David's contract includes voidable years, something the Bucs have not used in well over a decade. David will count only $3.5 million against the salary cap in 2021, despite playing on a 2-year deal worth $25 million, because his contract includes 3 voidable years. The drawback to doing voidable years is that the Bucs will essentially be borrowing from the future, but they recognize that Brady's window is small. So they're costing them money in the future, but for now,
yeah, which like makes sense because especially if like you're them, it's like for the next 2 or 3 seasons, that is like your window to win as many championships as possible, and for like my question is, what the whole issues with the salary cap is, how good is the actual market going to like really be, because obviously you have your teams who are terrible and who have a shit ton of cap space between, like, New York, between Jacksonville and Indianapolis, to like teams who have a lot of space to where they can really go out and improve their teams, but there's going to be a ton of free agents.
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be really interesting because there's a lot of teams who are just barely under that like threshold, and you have the New Orleans Saints who are, I mean, like, you want to talk the definition of cap hell, like, I mean, like for us as like Steelers fans, we define this as cap hell, but if you are a Saints fan, like they're like, I think I saw someone say that they are like that they have like 38 more like $38 million more than, and like a less cap space than the Steelers do, which basically means that they're like 35 or $32 million over the salary cap right now. Still,
avoidable years.
Like, Jesus Christ,
Restructuring, I guess.
Yeah,
which is always amazing that you could do. Like, thank God people could do that, because if not,
I could never figure that shit.
This is why I can't be a GM.
No,
because it'd be like I would need a financial advisor to sit with me.
A capologist like you, like man, like
I don't even know.
Yeah, like
it's why I sit here.
Yep, like that's really. I mean, it's really hard to figure out there, but we're gonna see. And something else, Matt. We saw on, I think it was yesterday, saw the Kansas City Chiefs releasing both of their starting tackles, because they're just trying to get under the salary cap. They also restructured restructured Mahomes' deal as well, which I think saved them around 17 million in cap space there. So I mean, like, it's just a lot of like dealing just to try and get under, and I mean, like, COVID just screwed everything up because Matt, last year the salary cap was at $198 million. It's now only, for going into the 2021-22 season, only 182
$10 million less.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah.
And then, hopefully the new TV deals, which are probably going to be when they come out.
Yeah.
Just, you're going to look at the money and just freaking like hate your life.
Well, yeah, I mean, and to just based on Dak's contract, I feel like a lot of that, and Dallas giving him so much, is
anticipation.
In anticipation of those huge contracts that are going to be kicking in next year, because between that and their deals with like Fox, I mean, just like NFL is a huge business right now, and they're doing extremely well. So yeah, we're gonna be obviously talking about that next week, because a lot of these guys are gonna be on teams really damn quick, and for the Steelers, like, we're gonna really find out what real needs that this team is going to have. But as far as losing guys such as Juju and like Bud, as far as like wide receiver, I'm not really too concerned about that. I mean, they have like that I'm fine with. Even losing Bud there, I mean, they got
Highsmith.
They got Highsmith for a reason. They were never going to re-sign him. He was just there to pretty much be a like stopgap until they eventually got there, because just as far as the salary cap was concerned, there was just no way that they were going to have this work. And like, to me, you can find wide receivers,
you have bigger problems,
right? And to me, especially with the needs on the offensive line, and just with the a tight end or running back, like, they have so many other problems that they need to be dealing with. And hell, if we weren't in such cap hell, I would be fine in us bringing back Juju. But it just, based on everything else that is going on into this, is most likely Ben's final year. Like, just, you need to prioritize here.
You're gonna lose that. Yeah, that money's gonna be off the books.
Yep.
Yeah, I would focus on offensive line.
Not to mention as well
running backs, particularly the draft. Then
re-sign TJ on top of that.
TJ,
His contract's coming up, which he's going to be the highest paid defensive player when that's all said and done.
If you have, we've said it before, if you have somebody good fall to you first round or other rounds, a quarterback maybe. If you look ahead, I don't know the class after this, but
no, just by some people who were talking about it, it's nowhere near as like deep as like this year's it's going to be. So
if there's somebody they like, I don't know, but
right,
I don't know. Again,
it's gonna be hard.
GM, that's why I don't get paid to evaluate talent.
Right, it's gonna be hard, but we will all see how that goes. All right, we're going to get into some COVID talk here, and more specifically, Matt, we had announced that the Texas Rangers are going to 100% full capacity for the games, and I believe also we saw the Dallas Cowboys are also going to 100% capacity as well, and this comes off of the cusp of the Texas governor announcing that they are going 100% capacity. No more masks are like mandated.
Yeah.
But at Texas Rangers games, masks are indeed required.
And listening a clip of Joe Rogan's podcast, I think it was with Mike Baker. At least a part of it I remember. He mentioned that even though the mandate of being required to wear a mask, he goes, I think he was saying in Austin, he goes, people are still wearing masks. People are still wearing masks. And he said, and I see his point that he doesn't want to be like forced to do it, but some people still do it, and it's up to people. If you want to be,
which it should be. I mean, if you're like forcing people to not wear masks, can you imagine how that's going to be going?
But it seems like more people have or more common sense and still do it because they understand. But I don't know. So at least everyone
is different though, because a lot of people are just like, you know what, I
think it's
especially if you are fully vaccinated, and if like you feel safe,
it's up to you if you want to go.
Right.
Nobody's forcing you to go to the games.
And the thing is like everyone has made this so freaking political at this point that it really doesn't.
You want to see my shocked face?
Right. Exactly. So it's just I'm just happy that everyone is slowly but surely is getting vaccinated. And so
tomorrow, technically, at this point when it's aired, I should be at the place I need to be, and I should be, as we speak, if not already, shot in the arm.
Yep.
With the Johnson & Johnson, the one dose.
Yep.
Hopefully, at this point in time, I don't feel any major side effects. Mm-hmm. I had somebody tell me today. A coworker of mine's like, somebody she knew or whatever had COVID, like my coworker and myself had, and she got really sick, at least for like a day or so. So I'm like, I hope not. At least for me, at least work wise, at least today's a Saturday, so we're watching this. I have a day buffer on Sunday, but if I still feel any remotely close of being like crap on Monday morning, sick day.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Like my dad, he had his first dose last Friday, and my grandmother, she got her first dose on Monday. So slowly but surely. Hell, I have no idea when I'll be having mine. Shit, I could be waiting until
the general public thing.
Because I'm completely healthy. So like I'm like at the very bottom of the.
You're a regular person. You're not healthcare. You're not
Nope.
education. You're not 65 or older.
Well, supposedly our governor said by the end of, I want to say by the end of May is when all adults should be eligible, which I will believe that when I see it. But if that's the case, then hopefully by then, hopefully before the summer begins.
So, according to COVID Act Now, I think .org, they have a Pennsylvania a chart here of people get away thing. Let me read this. Percent vaccinated. So 19.8%. This is as of usually it says March 10th. So 2 days. Well, as of recording 2 days ago, as 3 days ago, whatever. 1+ dose 19.3, and fully vaccinated 9.4%. Now I believe. Okay, it says, I guess that means if you took 2 or the 1, depending on the product. So it says Pennsylvania has administered 72% of their supply of vaccine doses. Fewer than 0.001% of people who have received a dose experience a severe adverse reaction, none of them deadly. So I fully expect to feel, and other people have said this, either a sore arm or something, or just feel out of it. I'm fully expecting, of course, with anything like vaccine, they put in you to help, you're going to have some sort of side effect. I guess it just depends. I just hope I don't feel like
shit.
Yes. But I was told, at least for me, at least our location, they keep you like maybe like 15 minutes after, just to watch you and make sure you have no reaction before like sending you off in your way. And you're in your car and you're like, oh, what are these bumps? Oh, I got hives. So at least that's good, at least for our intermediate unit. I don't know if it's them out by CCBC. So that's good. At least they watch you and make sure, okay, you're not going crazy here, okay, and then you can go off on your merry way. So yeah, I'm excited to do that. It just amazes me that that when I'm taking it, at least today, it's the March 13th. At least for me, that was the last day of regular school. That was the day when we got the message, hey, we're going to be out for 2 weeks.
It was definitely longer than 2 weeks.
It was the rest of the year. It was in March.
I mean, I was another week before pretty much, I was home for the first 3 months, essentially, which
a lot of people were. That was crazy.
I was essentially home for the next 3 months. Yeah. It's
been pretty much a year this week.
Yep.
Because the tournament shut down. Hockey shut down.
UFC, everything. Yep.
Because I was at supervisor training for the Pirates, and they had a slideshow about that. And I remember not joking, but like,
we were supposed to be like Monday Night Raw
the following Monday.
The following Monday, where Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to be there,
and the Undertaker. I believe so.
Yep.
I still have that in my calendar that I looked back at the other day. I was like, crap.
Hell, like we were supposed to go to a Joe Rogan comedy special a few times, which they had to cancel those because.
Did we get our money back on that? Or is it still pending?
Or
is it still up in the air?
Yeah, so I'll talk to you about that. It's been a year, and when they had the 2 week, even I had worked the High School Musical before that, and I was still has the doubts. I'm like, I don't think it's going to be as big. I was hoping only a month, but then
I didn't even think about shutdown. I thought, okay, it's going to come over here. Some people are going to get sick. You got to be cautious, but never thought pandemic or shutdown, or school would shut down, because let me tell you, when school was shut down, like clean up after stage crew wise, I didn't finish clean up that weekend, and we were going to do stuff, finish that the next weekend, Saturday, so the next day before it got shut down. So we weren't allowed in the building for months until August, maybe I can't even remember, July, when we were allowed, teachers were allowed to go back in and grab their stuff and like get ready. And I remember walking in, it was the weirdest thing, because I walked in our auditorium and everything was the exact same thing. Like it was like walking into like an Armageddon movie, and you walk in and like everything was just there. And going up the hallway, and people had like March, like the English department had like a March Madness for something for English, and it said March, and I'm like it was like the weirdest, surreal
Life stopped.
thing. Yeah.
Life literally
Can't even say the word. Like life stopped. Like I think in 2 weeks, it's like, oh, 2 weeks are gonna go by so fast. And one thing, oh nope, we're gonna be out till April. Oh, it'll be May. All the testings are gonna be done. Shut down. And I remember I went out to eat with friends. We grabbed wings on that Sunday because there was their wing night, and that was pretty much, because it was supposed to be wrestling the next day, and it just blows my mind that was probably the last time going out to eat, sitting and eating for a long time.
Yeah, like I haven't been to a bar in like pretty much a full year. Like
just to sit down, sit down and drink.
Sit down at a bar and drink.
Because COVID is only attacks you when you're drinking, not when you're eating food. But like going out, and I can't remember the first time actually going out and eating. It probably sitting in North Park Lounge, probably.
Yeah, with me and my parents.
Your family. Actually, that has to be it. Yeah. Before, it was a lot of takeout, picking up, just cooking, going to the store, cooking your own food.
I mean, and the sad thing is, I've gotten so like used to it now that I don't even think about it now.
No,
I mean, hell, like we had so many fires last year just because there was nothing else to freaking do. It was like, well, might as well have a bonfire.
And you feel kind of wrong doing it because you're sitting with people, and then go through that, and like finally like going when golf courses opened in beginning of May. I went to the driving range. Just how many people? It felt weird as first time going out until May. And going golfing,
even going to LA gyms too. It's just
like all the protocols, but like golfing is like one person in a cart. When we went to Black Hawk, like it was just, you look back and it was weird as hell. But now things are somewhat normal. We have sports coming back, like we just talked about. Rangers are opening, Pirates are opening at 20%. At least there's stuff. WrestleMania, they were trying to get 30,000 in Raymond James Stadium.
That's like which in Florida, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. And to be perfectly honest, like, I mean, like it's going to be a controversial decision regardless. So,
well, if everybody wears masks.
And especially if you are vaccinated, because I believe that like Florida is one of better of the better vaccinated states right now. I could be wrong about that.
I'll look that up.
So this is a fluid situation as it always has been, but hopefully by the summer we'll start to get some live crowds back here. Like football will be normal. we'll start to see some NFL or some some like wrestling full crowds, WWE and AEW live touring.
So Florida, I think the 1+ dose is 18.5%. Fully vaccinated 10.1.
Okay, so basically they're
a little bit better than us.
Yeah, not by much then.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to some MMA talk. And we had UFC.
Oh,
yeah, next one. All right, UFC 259, which Matt, the first title fight that we see right there is our boy Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling, which completely fucked our parlay.
Boy, we're screwed no matter what. We both had.
It was screwed no matter what.
Izzy, but still,
man, like
kick a man when talk about the definition of kicking a man when he's down.
Man, like I just could not believe that actually happened. And if you guys don't know, basically this fight ended in a disqualification because Yan hit Sterling when he was considered a like down fighter
with a knee of knees,
like with a like freaking like V trigger to the dome. And Aljamain he was already tired, exhausted, even before that, and he couldn't even.
Yan had the fight won.
It was easily a 3-1. And
all he had to do was kind of just keep lightly love tap him the whole time.
Yeah, like, and to be perfectly honest, man, at that rate that fight was going, there was a good chance he was going to actually finish him.
Yeah, probably.
But man, just him not knowing what the actual rules are.
And
yeah,
and wasn't it either Rogan or DC said his corner was telling him to do it?
Yeah.
So they don't know the rules, and he did it. But still, regardless, you should still know not to do it.
Right. It's just like, I'm like, yeah, they can be kind of confusing, but you gotta know, man. Like, if the man is considered a down a fighter, because I believe too that the official there said he's down. Yeah, he's down. He's down. Doctor. I'm like it just. It's so clear. It's so evident. It's a clear disqualification. It's like
the whole freaking time when the other guy was laying on his back, you let him stand up. So,
oh, and second thing is, why is the official putting that decision in like Aljamain's hands? As like Rogan said, like this should not be his decision to continue to fight or not, because if he could have stood up, he was definitely going to fight again. So when she was completely concussed right now.
Because John, if I stood up right now and somehow had a running start and need you in the side of your temple, you're not going to continue this podcast.
No.
You're going to be dazed, and when you come to, probably try to kick my ass. But that's not the point.
No.
But still, I'm going to go, I can knee you, and you're going to go, I'm going to, hey, John, you want to still do the podcast? And if you say yes, you're an idiot.
Right. Exactly. And people, I mean, like, sure enough, people were saying, oh, Aljamain was faking it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah.
Did you see it? The knee?
But
that's concussion.
I will say this, so why Aljamain demand to be interviewed, and then the whole optics afterwards, it just like looked bad. He took pictures of partying afterwards. I'm like,
oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
come
just
on,
like,
man.
I'm like, dude, like, do you realize how bad that's going to like look? And after that, he took a picture with Henry Cejudo, the former bantamweight champion, trying to build up a possible fight against him. And if you are like Yan, how do you feel about that? You know, it just looks bad. However, I don't think he was faking. He was concussed. Like, he was hurt. Like, there was no way he was continuing that fight. And on top of that, as I said, he was gassed. Like, just that was not happening. But it's pretty clear we're going to be having a like rematch with these guys.
Should, because you don't end that way.
Yeah, Dana isn't going to change his mind about that. So, I think we will see that fight. I do feel bad for a Corey Sandhagen who was in line for a title shot next, but I think he probably fights TJ Dillashaw next. That's at least a like big name for him. So they at least have that to where then like Jan and Aljamain can have hopefully a clean finish here, and we'll see who will be the actual champion. So there was that, and then we had a squash, which not exactly surprising, but
here's another shocked face.
Amanda Nunes just ran through Megan Anderson, just fucking brutal, man. Like I don't even think that this thing lasted 90 seconds. Like this was just such a overmatched fight to where Amanda hit her one or two times and Megan was a deer in freaking headlights. Just complete.
Megan just looks scared.
Just looked frightened as hell. It just felt really bad for her, but like Nunes, she wins convincingly. I say this after every single fight of hers. I don't know who she fights next. She's beaten everybody.
Who can beat her?
I mean, the only
retirement. Fighter that can beat her. Retirement.
No, to me, the only fighter who can beat her is like Valentina Shevchenko. The only fighter on this planet right now.
That's true.
Outside of Chris Cyborg, who I still say in the second fight, I feel like Cyborg would definitely beat her, but obviously, since she left, and this I feel also will put an end to the women's featherweight, which to me was a joke of a division as is, because they really only created it because of Chris Cyborg. So I don't see the point in having this worthless division now. So now Amanda, she'll go back down to like 135. She could fight a Juliana and a Pena, or if Shevchenko wins convincingly, I would do Shevchenko versus Nunes 3. I would, because there's no clear cut number one contender at like 135 right now. So then obviously for the final title fight, we saw Jan retain his like light heavyweight title against Israel Adesanya. A really close fight.
Yeah. For
the most part. I mean, obviously rounds 4 and 5 were clearly for like Jan. Wrestling was the difference here, and also to Matt weight. Like, to me, Jan just looks so much more thicker, stronger than Izzy did, and that was the one thing that I was concerned about going into this. It was like, I wonder if when they get into rounds 4 and 5, how durable is Izzy going to be there? And it proved, well, like when he was tired, he could not stop those takedowns, and Jan just grounded and pounded him really damn badly, especially in like round 5, and the officials gave him a like 10-8, which I didn't really agree with. I had it 48-47 for like Jan. I felt like that he won rounds 2, 4, and 5, and I gave Izzy rounds of 1 and 3 there. But some like judges, I think, gave him like 1 or even 2 10-8s, which I'm not exactly sure what they were smoking there. But then again, MMA.
It must have been sitting next to Joe Rogan,
I guess. But man, it was just weird. But now for Jan, he will most likely be defending his title next against Glover, whereas Izzy, he will be going back down to 185, and I think he will face Robert Whitaker should he beat Paulo Costa in like about 4 or 5 weeks here. So yeah, the card itself, not as great as I was hoping that it would be, but man, those early in the prelims, especially, there was a ton of finishes there. Just a lot of extremely fun fights.
That's what you were saying.
And going back on the main card, man, Habib's second hand man, as I called him, Islam. I mean, he's definitely a future champion. I mean, just his wrestling reminds you just so much of Habib's, where he just mauls guys
like a carbon copy,
and it was just frightening just how badly he was just mauling Drew Dober in pretty much every facet, and then in like round 3 he ends up submitting him. So yeah, he looked really impressive. I think they'll probably do a fight with him versus Dos Anjos next. There, so that will probably be up for him. And one other fight we just wanted to touch on too was Dominic Cruz. Looking pretty good there. He's not yet quite finished there. Very interested to see who they pair him up with next. I could see if against Jose Aldo there, which that would be a really fun fight there. So
yep.
So yeah, that was UFC. And lastly, guys, we're just going to get into some pro wrestling talk since we were unable to do a podcast for that this week. With that, and just some news and the news that is like most fresh right now, Matt, is Andrade. So basically he had taken off all WWE mentions on his social media, and he went so far as on like Monday to ask for his release. But as of tonight, according to the Observer, Vince has denied his request, and he's shocked. Yeah, I mean, not exactly surprising. I mean, just especially with AEW and all of these other companies out there, like there's just Vince is not going to be letting you out of there, which I don't really understand, just because this man hasn't been on TV in 6, 7, or 8 months now. Like pretty much once he separated from Zelina and like Garza, he was never on TV.
See what happens when you date Charlotte? She puts you down.
Like it's just, and that to me is the most baffling thing is like, and I think it kind of puts an end to this whole thing that Charlotte has all of this political pull.
I never had that thought.
I mean, I did, but I mean, this kind of like puts to bed that whole notion there, because not so much about him getting title shots itself. It's like, hell, he can't even get on TV right now, man. Like, shit. And between him and Alistair right now,
who?
Yeah, exactly. Just he hasn't been on TV. We have to be going on close to a full year at this point.
It's not
close.
When was the Eye for the Eye stuff? After Mania?
I want to say it was back in July or June, something like that.
So, not fully a year, but it was pre-Thunder. Oh,
we're getting there.
Close. Yeah.
So
pre-Thunderdome days, I think.
Yeah, that was in the Thunderdome days, because he like
back in the PC.
Yeah, it's just like between him and Andrade, like I don't know how you can't find places for these guys. Alistair is the most baffling thing.
Put him on SmackDown.
Hell, put these guys on NXT.
Yeah, we're keeping them. Yeah, bringing them down.
Why not put them on NXT? Like hell, like would you not want to see Adam Cole versus Alistair, or Adam Cole versus Andrade? Like Like, there's so many things that they could do with these guys, and Vince is just like, no, not going to do a damn thing with them. Just going to keep.
I'm surprised creative has not thought of anything.
Yeah, like they have not thought of anything. Like, involve him in the tag. I mean, like,
I'm surprised they didn't just
IC
put
title,
him. I'm
US
surprised
title.
they didn't just even put him with Charlotte.
Right, and hell, like this whole like Flair angle. Why would you not put Andrade with her? Because everyone knows she's engaged to Andrade. Makes so much sense. But I mean, like, and something else.
Things do we want? The other question, do you want to see it? But still,
right, exactly. So it's just like,
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either. And to me, the fact that we can't think of something to, like, hell, just have these guys freaking wrestle. Like, hell, like, I will enjoy.
Is he not even on main event?
He's not even on, like, main event. That's how badly that these guys are on the totem pole right now. It's like they're not even getting booked for, like, those, just to even get their, like, feet wet, or just continuing to like wrestle there. So I'm just trying to figure out like what their whole logic is. But supposedly, pretty much once like Heyman was essentially fired from his post on like Raw.
That's true.
Andrade and Aleister just failed to exist at that point.
They're at least doing something.
Yeah, like supposedly Vince's whole thing was with Andrade, his English, which to me is so freaking lazy and stupid, because how Zelina's right there, just throw him in a feud with someone.
Anybody else?
Like
hey, Charlotte.
It's. I know, it's just,
she's gonna have to know some Spanish.
Yeah, and hell,
freaking engaged.
It's just really baffling to me that they can find shit for fucking Reginald, but we cannot.
My boy getting laid.
But we can't get something for Andrade or
Aleister Black. To me is the more baffling one.
Yeah, it's just,
you had the entrance.
Yeah, and now, I mean, like, all of those NXT guys back from 2018, when, man, 2018 and 2019 NXT was lit. like just, whew, like some of the best TV going on. Yeah, just some of the best stuff going on right there. And now you look at, like, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Andrade. Man, it's just and even Shayna Baszler.
At least she's doing. At least she's doing something. Yeah, she's at least she's won TV weekly and prominent.
Just,
she has, at least she's a champion. Right. She's doing something. She's not on TV.
Right. So yeah, there was that. And on like Raw, Matt, what the fuck was that shit going on with Shane and Strowman?
I know what they were trying to do. Okay, and also I know what Shane was supposed to be doing about. Either I've done this before, or I've seen people do this. Be like, you're talking to somebody and you're like either joking or in a way passive aggressively condescending them, right. Being like, I'm not calling you stupid or anything, but like I
but
saw
you're
you
stupid.
But no, it was basically when you say no offense and the next thing you say is offensive. Right. So I knew what they were doing. I wasn't part of people saying, "Oh, did Shane forget his lines?" No,
they were just trying to stall for as much time as possible, and to Shane's
in terms of multiple segments.
No, like in his final segment there, like you could tell they were just trying to drag things out as long as possible, because you're telling, like, guys, I can tell you're just trying to fill time here as much as possible. Like this just came off just so bad. But again,
I know the premise of what he was trying to do. I don't think you can clearly say it came off. It was like on paper. I get it, and then execution is like, no.
Yeah. So
and then finally, it took a while, but why was it one night that I cared about Drew and Sheamus because I enjoyed everything they did.
Matches are great.
The match was great. The build up, at least for this week, the attack from behind, the intensity between of Sheamus and then Drew going off the Pearson goes, "This is happening. Make it happen. I don't care. Make it happen."
And now the problem is, they probably are going to be having another match at Fastlane. It's like, why should I care?
Fair. The only to play devil's advocate here, the reason like, oh well, the last match didn't end cleanly because both died, basically. Right. So there's your back door opening to make it work. Yeah. But I agree with your point. Mm-hmm. They should have. I don't know. Bobby Lashley still looks like a star. $1,000,000. His
entrance looks amazing.
Yes, give me more. I'm trying to think because I kind of fell asleep and I woke up to an explosion by Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton.
Asuka. Supposedly, there's a good chance she is going to be out of like WrestleMania due to her concussion that she sustained because of Shayna. And
I bet Shayna feels so bad.
Yeah,
because I think she I saw a video immediately after she kicked. She was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, and to me, if that does happen, like to me, the only
we talked about this.
Yeah, and we talked about this. To me, the only match that makes sense is Charlotte versus Rhea.
Writes itself.
Writes itself.
Emergency break glass type of situation. It works.
Yeah, and supposedly Vince was basically rewrote the whole card for Mandy except for Edge and
the ones that already been promoted on TV.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what that exactly means.
Because we talked about it. If she can Asuka, that is, compete at Mania, I would. If you strip her, I know it's another way, but she doesn't lose, right? Yeah. She only reason why she lost because she gets stripped. You have Rhea beat Charlotte.
Exactly, because at least gives Rhea something
after
WrestleMania.
A closing to the you can build up the redemption from last year. You could say, well, the story up. She on first time on the big stage, she wasn't ready, and then you build up. She was supposed to debut Mania on the same arena or same stadium.
I would consider turning Rhea heel too, because if you think
immediately
after WrestleMania, I would obviously not now because against Charlotte she's gonna be getting a babyface reaction.
I would see. It depends. You mentioned Becky at SummerSlam.
Yep.
I think
and Rhea needs to be a heel.
She could. Going into one. I think. At least for the summer. Again, depending on what happens. This is all hypothetical. Yeah. But assuming it's Becky, right?
Has to be.
I say you have Rhea stay face into at least the beginning of summer for that.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
And then you can turn.
Yeah,
going into the SummerSlam,
right?
Or before that.
And to me, Raw, we need some fresh faces there, guys.
Oh.
Like it's basically Asuka, Charlotte, Nia, Shayna,
Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke,
and I'm sorry,
Naomi.
And like I'm sorry, but like none of those are really. Like none of them have been really built up to where you should care about them. So it's like, what are you gonna do? You know.
And I think you know for as long as you can have Rhea as a face because she's a star.
Yep.
Then you can turn. Then the turn can happen.
And I swear, if they have this woman losing matches, I'm going to freaking lose it because she is the one really young. One star that this company has right now. who's not in their freaking 30s. Like, they need to get behind her. Like, she is the face of the company sort of person.
You got to pull Cameron Grimes with her and put her to the moon.
Put her to
straight to the moon.
Straight to the freaking moon. And I'm praying that they end up doing that. And as far as everything going on SmackDown, we have the contract signing. So basically, Roman versus Daniel is now official for Fastlane. And we also had announced for like next week, we're going to be having a singles match between Edge versus Jey Uso.
Oh, I can't wait.
And if Edge wins, he will be the special enforcer.
Whoever wins.
Yeah, or whoever wins. Spoiler: it's going to be Edge.
Which is a great dynamic during that.
Right.
Daniel Bryan. Reigns match.
I'm starting to wonder if they're going to be making that a triple threat now, because which I'm hoping is not the case, because as much as I love Daniel, he should not be anywhere near that title picture on WrestleMania.
I can see them Edge face. I want to see Edge and Bryan after Mania, like that next pay-per-view.
Yeah. Like that. I feel like
because if they're not building it, then they're teasing us and walking away right now, because you can see that tension.
Yeah, and to me, Roman should not be losing. I don't care what the circumstances are. That man should not be losing to anybody
right now.
Anybody. Hell, I would not take it off of him for the rest of 2021. That's how hot that he is right now. Like, it's just until someone comes along where like you're like, okay, this is the guy who will finally pin him, and it's going to be this huge thing, and it's
at the earliest SummerSlam, if you're doing it,
and that's only if he's facing a Karrion Kross, a Big E, a Damian Priest. Like, it needs to be someone that is going to really benefit from that. So, and the other thing that is really interesting to me on SmackDown, Matt, is Apollo and like Big E. That's going to be a really good WrestleMania.
Freaking fire of a promo by Big E. Yeah. It was unique.
Yep.
But I appreciated coming out. Yeah, he did the joke with, I'm not with the neck brace and getting the thing. We came out, and what you normally don't see regularly come out in the babyface was like, he serious and pissed off.
Yeah,
as he should be.
And that's the thing that really stands up between him and Apollo, which is why it's so damn good right now.
The heel, you want it perfectly booked. You want the heel is getting the one up, and you want Big E to beat his ass.
Yeah, the only problem I have now is like
you don't want Apollo to lose,
right? Like, and I don't know how you can have him lose right now,
but you don't want Big E to lose. But I feel like if Big E, I feel like it's better if Apollo wins than Big E wins, because you don't feel as bad with the momentum of Big E losing. Then you build Big E with his new Apollo with his new gimmick, and then you beat him right off the bat, which wouldn't surprise me.
No,
but it'd be good for this be a good feud if it continues past this,
which it will.
Which it will, because they got me invested with this.
Hell, this is it's a type of match that
even though we saw the fight before, I'm now invested.
This would be a match I would not mind being inside Hell in.
This would be a type of match that would be good.
Which so I hate these freaking gimmick pay-per-views because
because what's after Mania? Is it Extreme Rules is in July, right?
I'm not exactly sure.
Whatever, I forget. I lose track every time.
There's way too many damn shows.
Usually, I used to remember the order.
And obviously with like Sasha and Bianca, that whole thing is going on. I just like am mad and I have fun with this like Reginald shit here, but it's like I am just
Bianca should not be losing or taking a pin
against him,
regardless if it's Reginald or not.
Right? It's just it's so bad right now, and like they just I don't know why they can't just involve Sasha and Bianca just feuding and just not having Reginald involved because it's honestly taken a lot of enjoyment and what I thought that I was really looking forward to. And just
hopefully it goes away after Fastlane.
I can
or after that tag team title match.
I can only hope because this it's awful. There's just no other way around it there.
You see him winning the titles.
Yeah. Actually no. I think what we're gonna get is Sasha turning heel at the WrestleMania with like Reginald's help. That's exactly what I'm expecting. Which it's going to be terrible.
It wouldn't shock me.
Would not shock me, and I think it's going to suck, and it's going to piss off a lot of people.
So you have Sasha win?
Yeah, by like shenanigans. Yep.
Oh.
Exactly. It's gonna piss off a lot of people.
Oh.
Myself included.
Oh.
Myself included.
I think
I am not looking.
Wait. I'm going to take your idea and I'm going to tweak it to make it better for everybody involved. That Sasha turns heel at Mania. Reginald comes out, but they go, oh, you think he's gonna cost, like, oh my god, I knew it, he was with her, and blah 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 blah, and Bianca stops it and overcomes and wins. The plan foiled. I would be okay with that, because if it happens, we're watching this and you're gonna go, this is gonna be your reaction. You're gonna go, here we go, I called it, they're gonna pull this, and it's gonna be Sasha's gonna hit a bank statement, whatever, or go for a pin or something, and you're gonna get that false finish. We're gonna be sitting there going 1, 2, and she's gonna kick out, and we're gonna be like, oh, thank God. I can see that. Yeah. If they do that, that's fine, because you're like, oh God, she's gonna get screwed. God, Reginald, and then Bianca overcomes it, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but so yeah, that was SmackDown. Do you want me to kind of reveal some of the things that happened on like Dynamite?
Go ahead now.
Do you want me to talk about something?
Yeah, just go. Yeah, go ahead.
So
I'll watch it anyway.
Okay. So the ending of Dynamite. Have you heard anything about what happened?
Yes, unfortunately, but yes, I was kind of hard. It's going to be hard not to after. Yeah.
Thoughts?
I didn't see, but I just know this. You can go into detail.
Yeah, so definitely go out of like your way to see this beautiful.
So, all I know,
beautiful
is MGF is leading of the new four horsemen.
Right.
No, okay, wait a minute. So it's MGF, FTR,
and Wardlow, and like Shawn Spears.
So wait.
So there's technically 5. Which
wait. Is Wardlow just being accompanied by being accompanying MGF?
Well, yeah, since he's technically his like
manager. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
But supposled
he's the JJ Dillon kind of. He's there. He's managing.
Yeah, but supposedly they aren't going to be called the
Four Horsemen.
Yeah. I think they are telling us what their names are. Next week on Dynamite, so we should find out what their actual faction name is. But man,
the four insert other animal man.
Yeah. We'll see what their name is. But man, I am pumped as hell for this, because now
did they take Jericho out?
Mm-hmm. Okay. They beat the shit out of him. Yeah, beat the shit out of him. Like just that whole setup there. Because I was fully expecting, basically,
MJF just to beat Jericho up and take control.
Basically him, like basically him taking control of the inner circle, and it was going to, and what I thought was going happened when Sammy came in. It was like, oh, Sammy and Jericho are gonna be fighting the other guys in the inner circle, and then Sammy, he would hit Chris Jericho, and they would reveal, oh, hey, I was in.
It was me all along.
But no, what they did was, it was like Hager, Santana, and Ortiz are slowly walking and threaten they are going to like hit Jericho, and then they all turn around and look right at MJF, and Chris Jericho says, "Hey, hey, you like you stupid idiot. We all talk here." So basically they all revealed, like, they all knew what his intentions were, and they're about to attack MJF, and MJF is just begging for his life, which was hilarious. And then the like lights go out,
Of course.
and who do you see is FTR, Tully, Sean Spears, and like Wardlow, and beat the living hell out of every single member of the inner circle. And to me, Matt, this is going to be setting up a like War Games match at Double or
we don't have that there. We have what we call a blood and guts match on.
Yes.
You want to get copyrighted?
Well, I don't work for either company, so well.
At times I wonder. No, I'm kidding. No, but
Shameful. So
how's that shameful? It's a
shameful.
joke. See this abuse? This is not.
Yeah.
This is not YouTube. This is whatever the fuck. Anyways, yeah, I'm interested to see that, but that's interesting.
Yeah, like, and to me, I think we're gonna be seeing a completely different MJF. Like, I think he's gonna bury the whole like segments involved with him. Jericho is just gonna say how like stupid everything was, and which just.
He had to make me. I had to freaking sing.
Yeah,
and dance.
And hell, the stuff between FTR and Santana and Ortiz are some of the stuff I cannot wait for, because just those two's dynamic there, and with the promos by Santana.
As long as
I cannot wait.
Which obviously I think it should be, but as long as they're the MJF of old, just serious.
Oh yeah.
A-hole.
Oh yeah.
If they're serious, then how can you screw this up? Don't answer that.
Like, to me,
don't answer that.
I'm pretty confident that they're going to get this right here, just because it was clear, like, MJF had a freaking plan all along. He was doing stuff behind the scenes. And someone said, well, like, what if it didn't turn out that way? And here was my answer to that, is like, well, if they would have taken out Jericho, he would have just called on his guys still, and just beat the crap out of them, and say, hey, my whole goal was to destroy the inner circle, and that's what I did, you know?
Why I never said anything about why that would never make sense if he just took it over and everybody just followed him. Because to me, I always thought, and I never really questioned it, if I did, if that makes sense.
Right.
How that would make sense if we had something and then this guy came in and they're like, oh no, screw the original leader that helped us, even though we questioned MGF before and weren't 100% behind him, but all of a sudden we are.
Yeah, I'm really glad that they went down them,
because if you would have thought about it, you would have found the logic flaw in that.
Right, and to me, to where they got here is just a beautiful thing, and I'm
bumps
really
in the road, but yeah.
Obviously, but to where we are right now, it was completely worth it. Like, this was really good, and to me, this is only going to elevate MJF even further. And to me, I will be very surprised if he isn't champion before the end of 2021. Like, because with him now as the alpha dog, the unquestioned leader of this group, like they just he's like he's already a pretty big guy in the company now, so I'm really looking forward to that. And it also looks like as well, Matt, we're going to be getting Kenny Omega versus Christian, which has had a very like mixed reaction online, and I can understand both sides, but here's pretty much where I'm coming from. So there's been a lot of criticism comparing this to when Goldberg came in. It was immediately given a title shot because he's a like older guy, veteran, etc., which I can understand that. But here's my thing with that is, who else currently is set up to go up against Kenny?
Anybody else?
Exactly. There isn't anybody else now. Like, who is there? Like, and that's the problem. They really don't have any viable contenders for Kenny. Honestly, no, because to me,
I'm just throwing out.
Yeah, like, I mean, as much as
he did beat Hardy, I mean, he has somewhat of a winning streak. MJF is tied with Jericho,
right? And this is where having Cody not being able to challenge for any world titles really hurts him, because to me, you could just slide Cody in right there against Kenny, and that would have been a really good short-term program.
Yeah,
right there, you know. But
I don't know. I don't.
So
I don't know. Yeah, they have themselves in the corner,
right? And so just based off of that, I'm not as angry about that.
I don't like it, but
it's like, who else is there? So this will, I hope, give them enough time to build up Hangman, who I think should be challenging Kenny sometime during this summer here. Has to happen because there's still that whole untold story with him and Kenny there. Yeah. They really never finished that. So I think that is something where they can possibly go down there, and I feel like that they eventually will. But something else we saw too, Matt, is we're gonna be getting Cody versus Pentagon Jr., which, thank you, we're finally getting Pentagon into singles. He was in a segment with Cody, and which he was speaking really broken English, but he had a like translator there, and even with it, you can really feel his charisma. It really shows out there. So it looks like we're gonna be getting a feud between those two, and they're actually having a singles match next week on Dynamite. So I'm really looking forward for that as well. And man, Matt, whatever you do when you eventually see this, avoid the freaking six. What?
No, I'm watching it.
Women
I'm
tag.
I'm gonna suffer.
Oh God, that was bad.
I'm gonna suffer.
But the positive thing going for next week, though, we are getting Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker in an unsanctioned lights out match in the main event. So we at least have that. It's like, okay, we're at least doing something to put these girls in a prominent role on the show. The only problem is we need to start to feature other people, not like Joshi. And something else, Matt, that kind of annoys me too about this is like is that they have this that they have this like a huge spot, and like your champion is not involved. Just kind of par for the course. That's just how.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, just how.
It should have been if they did the tournament.
yeah, I mean, that tournament was just a complete waste of time. Complete waste of time. But yeah, that was pretty. Oh yeah, and this will really piss you off. They're having a tag team match between Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor versus versus Miro, Kip Sabian, and they're gonna be surrounded by arcade games around each other, and they're gonna have like kind of similar of when Cena and like Eddie had those had that on SmackDown with the cars surrounding each other, except here they're gonna have arcade games.
Can we wrap this thing up? I gotta wake up in 6 hours.
Okay, but
we don't need to tell you NXT. I don't want to ruin.
Yeah.
I have questions and I didn't even watch.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants NXT coverage, it ain't gonna be this week.
Yeah. I was planning on talking about that, but Matt he requested not to. So yeah, guys. So you guys, that's.
I mean, I don't want to talk wrestling after you said that arcade. I saw something on Twitter, but Orange Cassidy suggesting a match, like a new type match. And I saw arcade machines. I was like, "What is this?" But you said it was that next week?
I want to say yes. I believe so. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's a good place to stop here, guys. So yeah, we thank you for tuning in. As always, like, comment, subscribe. We are going to be back for our professional wrestling podcast.
Everything goes the freaking plan. It should be.
Yeah. So yeah. For like Matt and for John, we shall see you guys for next week. Take it easy.